Without the mark, no one can buy or sell.
What if they're right? What if we can't survive without it?
And what if taking it means losing our souls?
I'm sorry, ma'am. We can't take cash anymore. You'll need to scan your mark.
But it's all I have.
We like your credentials. But before we can finalize your position, you'll need to take the mark.
It's the only way in!
They told us it was just progress, just technology. Just another way to make life easier. But prophecy warned us. It would come disguised as convenience. The hardest decisions won't happen in war zones. They'll happen around dinner tables, between mothers and fathers who just want to feed their kids. They raise their hands in celebration, but they don't see the chains glowing on their skin. A mark that promises freedom, while binding millions to darkness. And the world cheers, never realizing prophecy is being fulfilled right before their eyes. Revelation was never just a story, it was a warning. And the signs are no longer coming, they're here. Choice won't come with thunder or fire, it'll come quietly. And when it does, whose mark will you bear?
All right, Shalom. We're the brothers out of Great Millstone in Atlanta. I'm the brother Karatazah.
Brother, I'm one.
Here, back again with another lesson. Going into the topic of, the C-hip, as you've seen on the video, But first, we're going to give double honors, to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Also Shalom to the brothers, and the sincere listeners. Shalom. We come in the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. So Lord willing, this lesson is edifying. So from what you've seen, in the video, it was AI. I believe a brother posted it. We're here. We're in the latter stages, of prophecy being fulfilled. To where we'll see, majority of society, take the mark of the beast, and is more believable now, than it's ever been because of how technology is. You can swipe your hands at a Whole Foods. You can everything is ran by biometrics. It goes to the airport. Everything is on, the scanners and the systems, so we're living in these times, man, to where, you got robots, drones, you name it, and we're seeing it, shit, people actually have the chip within them already, so how can you really go against what the scriptures say, so, like you seen in the video, this is Esau's plan, the so-called white man's plan, to mass chip everybody and to have them all in, that one world order, but we know through prophecy it's going to fail, but the Lord set us here, still his prophets here and the servants to still warn, the sincere listeners, and they'll take heed, but if not, then you can't say that you didn't hear it. All right, so nevertheless, we're going to start off with the first scripture. What you got?
I can get the book of Amos right quick.
Yeah, we can grab that.
Amos 3 and 7.
Yeah, kind.
It says, surely the Lord will do nothing, but he revealeth his secret unto his servants, the prophets.
Yeah, and this is a major secret, that the Lord revealed unto his prophets. Now, even though, you have whistleblowers, people who have TikTok pages or YouTube pages, that speak of, the mark of the beast and know that it's the RFID chip, but going into depth, the word mark in the Greek is charagma. Those secrets was revealed into his servants, man, which, every day, you see a brother going into, the mark of the beast. Because that's one of the top major prophecies to where we know that we're at the end, man. You know. So his secrets so like the Lord's secrets, you know, was revealed into his prophets. You know, and like a secret, you know, it's precious. You know, you're supposed to hold it with some standard, you know, reverence it, you know, because if someone told you a secret, it meant it was near and dear to somebody. You know, and what more would it be in the Lord's words? You know, you got something?
The book of Habakkuk. 2 and 3, so
I read it for you.
okay.
This is the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2 and verse 3. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry.
And Bob Kushar, can I get the NLT version?
Yeah, kind of. So it's like,
You know, it's just the point, you know, just breaking it down a little more simpler, but this major vision, that's for an appointed time, you know, which meaning a scheduled time period that is going to take place, right? Which we can see now. You got places like Utah setting up a digital ID. You know, you've seen Jamaica just had a organized hurricane. We already know it's going to be built up to be digital. These other countries are already going digital, right? So everything getting geared towards, you know, the microchip. You know, we always talk about gradualism. The term gradualism itself is going by increments into this major prophecy that we've been prophesying about for, you know, decades.
damn. Yeah, this Habakkuk 2 and 3 in the NLT version. It says, this vision is for a future time. It describes the end, and it will be fulfilled.
And it will be fulfilled. All right, the Lord said, you know, my word will not come back to him void. You know, so, and we're seeing it right now. You know, like the officer mentioned earlier, you know, you've seen a lot more robots pop up. A lot of robots are taking over a lot of people's jobs. You know, and we talk about what was it, mixed man and robot.
Yeah, what's his name? The CEO of Amazon basically said he gonna lay off thousands of workers and replace them with robots. You know, we seen it coming.
Yeah.
You know, you can't say that, you know, we haven't been saying these things, you know, and look at it, they taking place. You know, we did the lesson last night on basically Jacob's trouble, you know, with the southern and northern kingdom, mainly the northern kingdom right now. You know, and today we're doing it on you know, the Seahit. You know, and like the scripture said here, it said it describes the end. So what we're at the end of, man, Esau's rulership. You know, when these things are taking place, you know, going into 2nd Esdras, the 6th chapter and the 9th verse, you know, the end of Esau's rulership and the beginning of Jacob's. You know, this is what, you know, is the literally we're living through it. You know.
If I may add, you know, 2nd Esdras chapter 9, that's that measuring stick, measuring stick that, you know, we've been talking about, measure the time diligently.
Yeah.
So this describing the end, because once going back on the book of Job, you know, he talked about how when he tried to get it off the ground, right when he about to eat, right, the Lord gonna pretty much smack that food out of his hand, right?
Yep.
Intervene.
The fullness of his sufficiency, he should be in straits. You know, so this is what's actually going on, man. You know, even though that's an AI clip, you know, that we started the lesson off with, that's really, you know, is going to be a reality.
It's visual.
You know, it's a visual. You know, in which we're going to get the scripture. You know, but I'll finish reading this off first. It says, if it seems slow in coming, wait patiently, for it will surely take place. It will not be delayed.
Kind of, that's what we've been seeing now. You know, at one point in time, you know, of course, with the, you know, the scene speaking on it, it was, you know, it wasn't speaked about a lot. It wasn't out a lot. But now we're seeing it more so than ever. You know, like the officer mentioned, you got Whole Foods, you know, Amazon, Palm.
Yeah.
Everything is going towards a lot of jobs now. You gotta have that badge just to even get inside the door, right? You got certain vending machines that you can scan the hand.
Yeah, you can't even put the cash in it.
You can put the cash in it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yep.
And like in that quick AI clip, it was like Sarge later was like, well, the cash was all I had. You know, and it said access denied.
Yep. It says, I got a precept. It's 2 Corinthians 2:11. It says, "Let Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices." You know, and we all know, you know, when you go into that word devices, it goes into his evil plans. All right. So if you're ignorant to Satan's devices, then he has the advantage over you. You know, the scripture tells us to be sober and be vigilant. You know, why is that? Because Satan is prowling. You know, Satan is prowling, and he's going to actually succeed in putting a lot of you know, our people down.
And you know, he's gonna come with that convenience. That's what Jacob.
Yeah, the convenience, like the brother said. You know, being able to freely, you know, go to the grocery store. You know, swipe your hand, you get in. If you don't have it inserted, you can't get in the grocery store. You know, it's coming down to where the Lord, you know, is really making the people pick a side. You know, like the brother Shamak here in Atlanta. You know, he always says that, man. You know, you really the Lord is making it so where these people got to pick a side here, man. You know. And it's becoming evident, you know. So you have to make a decision. It ain't gonna be no middle areas. The Lord don't deal with the middle, you know. It's the right or the left, you know, either or. You know, the scripture tells us to be persuaded. You know, you have to be persuaded in this thing, or else, you know, you're gonna be on the opposite end. You know. So from there, we're going to go to the precept in Revelation 13-16.
Can we hit 15 first?
Yeah, we can hit 15, yeah. You can read it.
Okay. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 13, and verse 13 and 15. So like, it reads, "And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, and the image of the beast should both speak, and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed."
And that's what this devil's plan, you know. But the prophets of the Lord, you know, we, like the scripture tells us, hey, we don't fear. What did it say? Fear not them, you know, that can kill the body.
Fear him that can kill the body and soul.
Yeah, but fear him that can kill the body and the soul, you know, at the water. You know, so that's who we fear, Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, not man. You know, so when this devil comes with that ultimatum, you know, or if you don't take this, you know, you can't eat, you can't buy, you can't provide for your families, you know, you can't work, you know, then you know, which we're doing now, you know, the only option is to lean on Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. You know, and that's the best option there is. Okay?
They get prepared for that battle, Isaiah 33:6.
Mm-hmm.
And wisdom and knowledge will be the stability of our times. Because we know that, like you said, we're going to eat, we're going to drink, we're going to have shelter. You know, but this trouble has to come through. We really know it's for the 2/3, but we got to go through the mix of it.
Yep. I reread it. Read that 15 verse again.
It's from the top, verse 15. "And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, and the image of the beast should both speak, and cause that as many as will not worship the image of the beast should be killed."
Yep, and that's this devil trying to take total control. You know, because it says he's trying to cause as many, you know, as many as he can. You know, and which is going to touch on that again in the 16th verse. You know, you got it.
"And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads."
And when you go into that word "all" here in the Greek, it's pas, and it says individual. You know, so he's going to try to cause each individual, you know, men, women, and children, you know, to try to take, you know, this mark, man. You know, it says both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, man. You know, so this is everybody, man. This is this devil trying to put everybody under that one system. You know, to be as if he is the Most High, like the scriptures say. You know, that's how this how wicked that this man is. You know, you got our people parading around, being moles and into all sorts of madness. You know, while this devil is trying to chip you, man. You know, so if you're not preparing yourself, to stand, to have integrity and say no, when this thing is presented into you, you go take it. Because we know about it and we still pray to the Lord, to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, for us not to take it, man. Where your prayers at? Where's your integrity when it comes to having your own thoughts and opinions, on this system, and how this government is ran, or you went out and voted. You see how this devil gets you, man. All right. It says he calls us all. This is the vision that John was seeing here, man. All right. You got it.
Verse 17. And that no man might buy or sell save he that hath the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name.
That's right, man. So it says that no man may buy or sell, and that's the main way of living, man, is buying and selling. From the ancient world until now, trade, commerce, building up your economy is by buying and selling. So if you're not doing that, then you're not providing for your family. You're not providing for yourself. But the carnal man is going to think, oh, if I don't take this, there's no way I'm going to eat.
My kids going to eat. Yeah, like you just said, it's going to start controversy within the household.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It speaks of that in the book of Matthew, man. Mm-hmm. A man foe should be of his own household. Yep. The mother hating the daughter. Yep. And so on and so forth. That division within the house. The scripture speaks in 2nd Esdras 9th chapter of the uproars of the people. Sedition among men. Mm-hmm. So these are all prophecies that's falling in place in these latter days, man. And like we was going into earlier, and we're literally walking in those times, man. Going out, to the highways and byways and prophesying, doing these lessons, all while this is still happening. Mm-hmm. Okay? So if you listening, you gotta take heed to the spirit and actually see what's going on and make changes, or else. You got something we can close up with?
We can hit Revelation 3 and 10.
Yeah, there's a spirit, because I was thinking that too. Mm-hmm. I'll read it for you. Okay. It's Revelation 3 and 10. It says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth.
And as you could see inside those clips of the AI video, right, it was pretty much, you could tell it was the worldwide event. Like, you got the drones, it's trying to see that everybody had the 666 on them and stuff like that. That was representation of that chip, But like the scripture said for the elect, essentially, since you have kept the patience, I'll also keep you from the hour of temptation. And can we hit that word temptation?
Yeah, go ahead.
In Greek? Because this was going to boil down to either you believe in the Lord or not. Because this is, man, it's like the story of Job, man, in a way, man. He's going to test your integrity. Mm-hmm. Is you willing to lose your kids right here in front of you up on the guillotine? Is you willing to go 5 days without no food? Mm-hmm. But, the Lord said you got to forsake it all so you can gain it all.
Yeah. This is G3986, and it's Pierre Rasmus. It says, an experiment, attempt, trial, or proving.
Right, and that's it. The Lord gonna prove all of us, man. You know, and this is the perfect time to try it, like gold in the fire. You know, you can't. This is the time to, you know, in that time period, you know, you gotta in that time of adversity, you know, you gotta stay in that fire. You know?
It says, trial proving the trial made of you by bodily condition since, let me see. It says, an enticement to sin, temptation. You know, so the enticement going into, like the brother spoke on earlier, you know, that convenience. You know, being able, you know, to go to the grocery store or to go to, you know, like you should add the video, the parties.
Yeah.
You know, being able to, you know, still, you know, buy and sell. You know, that's the enticement behind it. You know.
Tired of not being on the run, because we're going to be on the run.
Yeah.
Folks going to give in, like, you know, fuck this shit. Give me a risk.
Yep. And we seen that during, you know, C-19, man. You know, because it caused that division, you know, from people who took it versus people who didn't. You know, so we seen that. You know, so it's going to, everything is going to heighten. You know, when these next, you know, pestilence outbreaks and famines, you know, the chip, you know, everything is on the heighten, you know, to another level. You know, the division, you know, when these prophecies really start, you know, to take place. You know, and you know, we no longer going to work, and it's you know, dog eat dog out here in this world, man. Everything is gonna heighten. You know, the man's gonna be trying to protect his household. You know, weapons gonna be drawn. You know, and you people are just been in the blind. You know, I'll read a little bit more on his. Oh, you got something?
I was going to say I had, for that right there was B3 and B4, and that's all I had on this.
Oh, yeah, go ahead. You can read.
Okay, it says, other conditions of things or a mental state by which we are enticed to sin or to lapse from the faith and holiness. And in this temptation, that's what it's just pretty much going into, to see if you're going to bend your faith. You know, that's why I'm in this great time period now to put on the whole armor. So in that time period, we're able to battle. You know, we're able to fight against what's in front of us. Number 4 was adversity, affliction, trouble sent by the Most High. And serving to test or prove one's character, faith, and holiness. And the beautiful thing I like to end off on is 2 Ezra chapter 2. You know, he said,
Oh, yeah.
I commended those that stood so
That's
stiffly.
stiffly in the name. Yeah, let's grab that.
Okay, come on.
Stood so stiffly in the name of the Lord.
Like that's hey, I commend them brothers, man. Them boys went through. They watched they rib get put on beheaded. They watched their son get beheaded. You know, they waited on me till I brought the angel to their cell to feed them. I commended those men. That the boys they didn't budge. They were ready for it. It's an open book test, and we kept studying for it. Get prepared for it.
God, this 2 Ezra chapter 2, I'll start at verse 45. You know, because up the verses above goes into how, you know, Yahweh Shai set the crowns in their heads. It says, He answered and said unto me, these be they that have put off the mortal clothing and put on the immortal, and have confessed the name of the Most High. Now are they crowned and received palms. Then said I unto the angel, what person is it that crowneth them and giveth them palms in their hands? So he answered and said unto me, it is the Son of the Most High.
Right, which is Yahweh Shai.
Right, Yahweh Shai. It says, whom they have confessed in the world. See, this is, you know, we was going into during our lessons, going out to the highways and byways, teaching in the name of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. You know, in righteousness, that's confessing, you know, the Lord to the world, man. You know, like it goes into Wisdom of Solomon chapter 5. You know, those stood in that great boldness. You know, loosely paraphrasing. You know, that's who the Lord is looking for. All right. it says, "Then began I greatly to commend them that stood so stiffly for the name of the Lord." Yep.
You went through it all. You went through all the battles, the struggles, the temptation. Look, you at the guillotine. You told him, "Look, let me look at the guillotine." You know what I'm saying? Like, you was willing to get beheaded, for your crown. Like we all, elders always be saying, get down for your crown. Don't let no man take that crown.
Yep.
So he commended those.
Yep. The last verse, it says, "Then the angel said unto me, Go thy way and tell my people what manner of things and how great wonders of the Lord thy power thou hast seen." So it's going to be great works, that's going to be done in these latter times, man, on both sides. But we already know that righteous is going to prevail, but the Lord is still going to let, these devils get their 1-2 in, But the Lord will get that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Yeah.
So you really gotta be really stupid, to not pick the side of the Lord. Because it's a victory that's already, written.
Yeah.
You just gotta just stand, stiffly in these latter days and not take the chip, not bow down to these devils, man. All right, so, that was pretty much all we had. Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. We'll go ahead and close up by giving all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Rakakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. And until the next time, shalom.